Did you know America's first frat bro was John Heath in 1776? Although he did not wear Patagonia or vineyard vines, he created a culture of brotherhood and hazing. You're listening to the Daily Brew from the Stanford Daily. This is Chloe Barreau
and Leily Rezvani. This week, we're covering experiences and perceptions surrounding the recent rush process for fraternities and sororities. Here's Emma Bowers with the story.
It's spring quarter at Stanford, which means the sun is shining, fountain hopping is in again, and tanning or studying on Mire Green is the most popular activity on campus. But the coming of spring also marks the start of another important Stanford tradition, rushing Greek life. Greek life doesn't dominate Stanford, but it is a source of community for many, from sophomores trying to break out of the sophomore slump to upperclassmen hoping to try something new. From 2007 to 2018, we have seen a 123% increase in the number of women who joined sororities. Tri-Delt, TDX, Sig Nu, SYZ. These are just a few of the sororities, fraternities, and multicultural organizations this campus has to offer. Some chapters are over a century old, while others were established as recently as 2017. For some students, this is how it begins.
As an international student, I found it hard to talk to my families back home, so I was pretty feeling lonely after my freshman year.
I went to recruitment events, mostly for the food, as a lot of people do, and I really ended up liking the people I met.
When the season came by, I realized, I might as well give it a shot. It seemed like I had the stereotypical view of what that meant, and I just wanted to see for myself.
For others, ending up in Greek life is a big surprise.
Like, my mom was in a sorority, and she was very much like, don't join one, it's not a good environment. And so I guess I've always kind of grown up with that idea. And while I think that I can perceive some of the issues that exist in Greek life at Stanford, I did also see virtues to it as well that I think are particular to here.
I think that I never really ever had intentions to join Greek life. Part of that probably because I had this stereotypical idea in my head of what it would be like to join a sorority or fraternity. So even up until the end of winter quarter, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna join a sorority. And I saw these posters around the dorm, and I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. This is a sorority. This is what they're doing. The sorority is actually a multicultural Greek organization, so we all come from similar backgrounds, and we related on a lot of different topics. And there's this one girl that I just really connected with. She was like me, 2 years older. I don't know, there's just something about her and the conversations we had and the similar experiences that we've shared that I was like, oh, and you as a similar version of me really enjoy being a part of the sorority. And she told me about the amazing friendships she had built and all the amazing community service she had done for the community, and it just got me really excited.
Many students opened up to the idea of Greek life through friends.
Yeah, more and more of my friends were saying that they were gonna rush, and then I was like, okay, I should probably do this so I'm not sitting at home all weekend alone when my friends are gone. But I feel as I was going through the process, I started to become more and more into the idea of being in a sorority and excited about it.
Through my a cappella group and through gaieties that were involved in Greek life, I saw that it was more of a community of support and a lot of genuine people rather than the stereotypical sorority and fraternity Greek life that you see in some state schools, and so I thought that was unique about Stanford.
Before joining SYZ, I knew a lot of people in SYZ, but honestly, I didn't even realize they were an organization because they were just an amazing person in general. But then when I found that they're all in SYZ, I became curious what about SYZ brings all of the people together.
I think my first impression was just based off my knowing one person who I really liked. And so I had a pretty good idea that the people who are also in the org were hopefully, of the same sort of fun personality and really thoughtful.
But there was something many of them noticed. The process was enjoyable for those of more extroverted and social personalities.
I wish that it favored more introverted people. You know what I mean? Like, I think the introverted people get slept on in this process and they are completely out. But it worked out really well for me. And I had friends who are introverted who wanted it really badly and the process did not work out for them. And I think that's a pattern that I'm seeing that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, so I dropped my sophomore year from Chi Omega. I rushed my freshman year, which was 4 years ago. It was a wild experience. It was really long. I had a lot of different parties that we had to go to. If you've experienced rush, you know how late at night those can get and how many different people that you have to talk to. It's very, very loud, very, very crowded. I don't know if I can call myself an introvert or an extrovert. I guess I lean more toward ambivert. I do like to spend a lot of time doing self-reflection, and I do enjoy a lot of quiet time. I think sorority life, Greek life, fraternity life in general is geared toward people who want to be more extroverted and to go out and socialize more in that way. But at the same time, you're always in the same circles. You're always in the same Greek life circles. So I don't necessarily think that you have to be extroverted to be in a sorority and a fraternity in Greek life, but it can certainly help.
The inherently social process sometimes leads to unideal environments.
I just think that it's a really unique process to be standing and talking to people for 7 hours straight and to try and, I guess, not just impress, but put your best self out there for such a long period of extended time. And I think that sometimes could be really take a toll on people, especially when the pressure is really on with girls wanting to impress certain sororities rather than others, or there are other girls around them too that makes it pretty much kind of a hard situation to be in.
Okay, I feel good. I more so feel relieved. I did not like that process.
I'm extremely relieved that the process is over with. I think that it was a very long and exhausting weekend.
I got to witness the boys rush over the past few weeks, and I thought no, there's no way that I'll be that affected or that into it as these boys are and how the way that they're talking about it. But I feel as soon as you're in the environment and you're being judged by all these girls, you really start to feel effects of that, and it kind of I feel took over everyone's heads the past 72 hours. So I'm glad it's done.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the kind of person you are. Your experience will have a lot to do with that, because for people, for me, I consider myself to be a very social, outgoing person, and so I kind of enjoyed getting to basically meet so many different girls in this one weekend. But for girls who are more introverted or shy or insecure, it definitely was very nerve-wracking and stressful. I could see firsthand how some of my friends kind of shut down and just were really off-put by the social aspect of it all.
When I'm sitting at Coho during recruitment and I see people crying and over-analyzing a lot of conversations they've had, yeah, I don't like that. I think that's not the way any sort of student dynamics should be. But then it also is the way so many student orgs here run. Just in this case, the focus is, I guess, your social and value structure.
There were a lot of times when I didn't feel like I was having conversations. I felt like I was talking to talk, and that's not something that I particularly enjoy doing. The overall process took an extremely long time. It was very late at night, which is hard when you are an athlete who has to wake up early and do those things. Again, I'm not in season
in the spring, so that wasn't so much of a problem for me, but I was acclimated toward getting up early versus staying up late. And I definitely lost my voice by the end of the process. I felt like I talked to a lot of the same people over and over again, even though we try, or the Greek life tries to introduce you to new people through the process. It was a lot of work. It was honestly a lot of work for 4 or 5 days.
For some rushees, standing for up to 7 hours straight is worth it because of the community that they are opting into. It is important to note that the process for multicultural sororities is different from regular Greek rushing, and the motives and goals of rushees might differ as well. Multicultural sororities focus more on conversations about identity.
See like a lot of intersection between especially dance groups and like cultural organizations and SYZ, which is like what we call Sigma Psi Zeta. I love talking about politics and about the larger world beyond Stanford, and I think SYZ is like a really great space for that.
I thought it was really cool to meet so many upperclassmen and learn about like their lives and all of the experiences that they've had here at Stanford and how they've made it like the best that like they think like their Stanford experience has been so unique to each of them and how they made it their own, and is really cool. I think it really broadened my perspective on the types of people that are on this campus because, I don't know, only really interacting with freshmen up until this point.
But it is just so subjective and so contingent on maybe like you had the right conversation with the right person that day, or something they said just like resonated with you. So it's kind of like, you know, how getting into college, everyone's like, there's so much luck involved with who like reads your essay. And obviously this is far lower stakes, I would say. But yeah, I think some of it is a little bit arbitrary, which I don't know. It's something that definitely, when you reflect on, or like a weird power dynamic that I don't know if I appreciate that part of the Greek experience as much. The product of recruitment is that you do have like a new class of really cool people and, you know, years of being sisters. So it's just balancing the in the moment versus in the long run sort of challenges.
If you're someone who doesn't have a team or sorority to turn to at Stanford and you're looking for communities, there are clubs and different groups for literally any type of social arena that you're interested in, and they're all welcoming. I've never had an experience where I went to a club and they were like, you have to come to all of these meetings and you have to do all of this to join us if you want to be in this group. You don't have to be a part of Greek life at Stanford to enjoy and meet other people who are in Greek life. I think that's what's great about Stanford, is that we're not super heavily Greek life driven, and you don't have to be in it to reap the benefits of it and to meet all of these great people. I think if you want to be in a sorority, in a fraternity, and you are a good fit, you should join. I think that it can provide a great community for you, but I'm not saying that you have to do that in order to meet those people and to be well connected with them.
Although Greek organizations are only a subset of social life at Stanford, they serve as a form of cultivating communities and bringing together students with similar values. Whether students rush for the friendship, parties, or food, Stanford's Greek and multicultural organizations create a unique sense of community. For some, it is integral to their college experience. But for others, it is one of the many facets of the opportunities the university provides.
This episode was led by Chloe Barreau, Leily Rezvani, and Emma Bowers.
With help from Wongi Jung, Alex Huang, and Kaylee Beam. The Stanford Fleet Street Singers are leading us out with their recent hit, Safety School Harvard diss track.
We got more Olympic medals than a first world nation. So what if you got presidents? The precedent is changing. The future is in tech and you're past your expiration. But what more could you expect from liberal arts education? We're the #1 computer science school on the planet. We made the internet. Round the world We ran it, but at Harvard, if you wanna get a CS degree, it's too late, wannabe, should've gone to MIT. We invented Google and a billion other things. What did you contribute? Zuckerberg and Bing? While we lead the way in artificial intelligence, you just use big words, artificially intelligent.